Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're looking at The Universe Within Discovering the Common History of Rocks, Planets, and People by Neil Shubin. Neil Shubin is a paleontologist who became famous for being one of the scientists who led the team that discovered one of the greatest transitional species fossils ever, Tiktaalik, which is part fish and part tetrapod from the Devonian period 385 million years ago. Neil's first book, Your Inner Fish, talks more about Tiktaalik and the fact that we have evolutionary roots in creatures like this. That's the book that he's most well known for, and I think it was his best one out of the three, from what I remember. It was a few years back that I read Your Inner Fish, and now I want to read it again so I can review it. So, The Universe Within, this book's main theme is that specific genetic traits we share today, like, say, our sleep wake rhythms or our color vision, or traits that exist in other creatures, have a basis in events that took place billions of years ago, starting with the formation of stars. How does the exact location of where each planet accreted around our star and the speed of rotation and our axial tilt affect the biology on Earth? This is a pretty neat idea, but I will say that it didn't feel like this theme was executed as well as it could have been. It didn't really feel like that was what was driving the writing. It felt more like something the author just wanted to put into this project just for the sake of having some kind of theme to give the book a deeper quality. When done really well, this can be incredibly effective. If we look at something like, well, let's use Your Inner Fish. He used the discovery of this fascinating ancient creature to discuss why we have some of the features we do, like, say, the ossicle bones inside of the ear. They're an adaptation from jaw bones millions of years ago, and furthermore, he used that to go deeper into some of the, let's say, rules in evolution. But it's this idea that drives the writing. It's not just a bunch of interesting material that he managed to link to a theme. That's brilliant writing, and I think he wanted to do something similar here, but I think the problem is that the theme for this book is something that could easily be changed out for another, which made it feel a little bit weak, as though Shubin just wanted to write a book and just tacked on this theme for the sake of it. The times when this underlying theme is brought up, I had tended to forget it was ever there, and because the material itself was more interesting than this theme, the execution of this theme lacked the power of the writing in Your Inner Fish, specifically because you could invent a number of other themes as an afterthought that would have worked just as well. We could have said that this book is about how advances in science change our view of our world and universe, or we could have said that it's about evolutionary adaptations. It just felt a bit weak as far as this theme idea. In the book, Shubin mentions how everything we observe today, the way everything has gone down in evolution, is just based on chance. So many things could have been completely different because it's all based on environmental conditions, and everything we see is like a snapshot, a representation of a very specific moment in a geological record that spans billions of years. Now, that would have been a great theme for this book. One more example of a theme done effectively, I think there's a book coming out later this year which is about how, by analyzing the genetics of given creatures, we should be able to put together some pretty good ideas about the environments that they evolved in. I think that's a much more clear and less forgettable theme. However, I do not think that these opinions should deter a person from reading this book because it's so full of interesting and important information, like how paleontological dig sites are selected and firsthand accounts of what it's like to do this kind of work. My favorite and most memorable part was this section on the discovery of the mid Atlantic ridge and how that led to our understanding of seafloor spreading and continental drift. Why is the geological strata and the fossil contents in it of West Africa continuous with that of East South America, and the same for so many other locations? Well, it's the same reason that the continents appear to fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. Parts in the book like these highlight times in history when an understanding of our world is achieved through persistent science by brilliant people, which is so monumental that it's really quite moving to think about, and it renders our previous thoughts and ideas almost silly. Of course, now it seems so obvious we know about convection currents inside the Earth and the age of the rocks surrounding the mid Atlantic ridge. In the grand scheme of humanity, this particular knowledge is very new, and I just think it's amazing that we can just pick up a book like this and learn these things that years ago many people wouldn't have even believed. And there are a few things like that in this book. It's pretty cool. Also, I've seen this topic of the discovery of seafloor spreading discussed in other books, and I felt that Shubin covers it really well in The Universe Within, mostly because it captures what the thinking was like before and after these discoveries were made. I really love that. I think it helps demonstrate why science is so important. So, there are many reasons to read this book. The Universe Within will also make you want to go plan a flight to some remote region to go hunting for fossils. And this book is written in such a way that anyone can enjoy it. There are no difficult concepts in this book, but it still captures that wonder of science feeling that I like to see in popular science books like this. Neil Shubin books are especially good for lovers of paleontology. The Universe Within seems to be targeting an audience with little scientific knowledge, but that would like to see why so many people love science. Shubin does a good job of capturing that essence and the excitement of making discoveries in science, and all while remaining completely beginner friendly. This is a book that's designed to be very easy to digest. Okay, that's it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're someone who has a general interest in science, or who wonders why people love science, or if you're just looking for some light reading material that will give you a better understanding of the world you're living in and why some things are the way they are, check out The Universe Within by Neil Shubin.